This conference will now be recorded.
All right,
Oh, okay.
cameras were over here. Call the meeting to order. I'm going to stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Lord, if you gathered this day to do the important business of more the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
Amen. Come over here closer to me.
Yeah, I know.
All right, first item as always is public comment. Oh, yeah.
Was that an executive session that you just had, or?
No, we just had a meeting with two of us, three of us, I guess.
What was it about?
We'll get to it.
In an open meeting?
Correct.
Just curious.
If it had 4 or 5 trustees in it, it would have to be an open meeting. If it had an attorney and a couple of trustees,
Well, I was just
that's
curious
not.
because there were trustees and an attorney and.
No, just saying that's not an open meeting.
Yeah, it needs to be 4 of us.
Only 3.
I just thought it was kind of different because Ron was apparently not invited to this discussion, so.
Yep. Any other public comment?
No. I stand.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm Ryan Klein, County Coroner. Most of you guys know who I am. I'm here tonight seeking information on how to properly get a PCR. It's my understanding from the county attorney, I don't need to file any paperwork, any request. I need to ask for it, and I should get it in due diligence. Is there somebody that knows more than I do as far as what this entails? I've had issues today there was a death that happened outside of the village that Owego transported and then brought back to the village. Person died halfway to the hospital, brought back to the nursing home. So I need a PCR, the pre-hospital care report, for my file and my investigation, which is pertinent to my investigation. Is there any reason why I don't have it or shouldn't have it, or?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking about something that the village board wouldn't know. I mean, there's a department head, you'd probably be directed to talk with him about how to get that paperwork. If it happened just today, we're not uninformed about the details.
Okay.
Should you get paperwork? Yeah, you should. You shouldn't face too many hurdles on that.
Yeah, it should be a push a button, print, click, send.
Good thing, right?
If there's an issue in the department about that, then obviously that's something the board will follow up with the department head to figure out if there's a problem. You're flagging that there was some issue today, I'm sure the board's gonna be interested in talking with the department head about that.
All right, thanks.
Anybody? Public comment? We'll move on. The rest of our big meeting. Department head with it. It's our Brett. Where you go?
Sweet.
There's a couple of things. Summer texted me today about it. She's a go for the pool.
Oh, yes, they put together the contract. I think everybody approved, sign it, as long as we put it together.
Yeah.
Right. But we just have to sign it, I think.
She has to go in and sign it.
Yes, sign it, nice to sign it.
Okay, is it gonna be left here at clerk's office? I can tell her that she can come and sign it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'm just in between person here.
She's the one who's going to do the swim lessons that we approved
Did we already approve that?
a long time ago.
Yes.
We just said we needed an actual contract with 5 years and all that. Yeah. With Nate put together.
Was that the state grant?
No.
No, this is something, remember the Owego School was closed
Yeah.
down for the year.
She'll do the
Okay.
10 a.m. to noon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Before the
Gotcha.
school.
Correct.
No
Those
room.
sounds-
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
You say we did approve such a thing.
We did.
Yes. Okay, My next thing is, for this concrete for the sidewalks. I have awarded the job to go to Stevens Masonry. And in front of you is what he bidded. Sidewalks and stuff to that effect.
Do we have to accept?
Yeah, and I got this for you, Mayor.
What's the total?
It's not a total. If you look at it, it's per linear foot. So there'd be different jobs of what he can do. Like sidewalks, you will see that the linear foot just for sidewalks, and then it breaks it down for curves and everything else. That's the prices per linear foot that he'll be doing for sidewalks. 4 inches standard depth in front of home sidewalks, linear feet.
This is throughout the village.
Yes.
So standard depth, Fred, is that 4 inches?
4 inches standard depth, 6 inches in driveway approaches.
So this makes it so that every time we do a sidewalk or any kind of sort of concrete, we don't have to go out to bid.
Correct.
We can just use this.
Correct.
Because we already did though.
Yes, that was all part of the bid package.
How many years did we authorize the contract?
5, you authorized it.
5 years.
Okay,
So it'll escalate pricing by inflation or the
For
CPI
concrete prices.
or 4%, whatever it is, whichever's lower.
Is that written into something that we,
In the contract I put together.
do we have in the contract?
it's right there in front of the mayor.
Like, which is the actual contract?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if the actual contract's in it.
Yeah,
Bill worked the clerk's office. Kim has it still.
yeah, it could have been a package that I sent.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs to be updated with information for this contractor.
So what do we need?
So the board will need to approve, award the lowest, award this contractor the contract basically.
Because he was the lowest bidder.
He's the guy that we've been using.
So he does have the ability to fulfill this.
Yes, right. He's done the job in front of Rod's house.
My house, you just dump what's downtown.
He did the pools, he did the ramps.
Yeah, he did the
Oh,
ramp.
sidewalk.
Yeah, yep. Now I can just call him and we already have the prices in front of us. And we can just let him.
Right, we'll still have to approve the projects if they're over a certain amount of money.
Well, right now, we need to get what the village owes the board owes the village people. Because a lot of the trees that we've taken out were affected by the sidewalks, flats, for example.
Right.
There's a lot of sidewalks that have to get done ASAP because the trees caused it.
So Mayor, actually, I think once you've awarded the contracts, then Fred has the authority to pick where and get it done. Yeah, he doesn't need to come back, as long as he's budget.
So does that include the stump removal?
I already did it, no, that's not, I got it cheaper done. If you look on the second page, it shows that if he has to do it, but our tree guy is way cheaper per day than he is by one stump. So I can do 6, 7 stumps, our tree guy, cheaper than I can do it that way. But I just threw that in here in case it was an emergency that would.
Right.
So we're up to 22 stumps this year that we've taken out.
Be a lot of $400.
Excuse me?
That'd be a lot of $400.
Yep.
All right. So somebody want to make a motion to accept the
I
lowest?
want to ask a question too, and that's you might want. Do we have a certain amount in our budget for sidewalks right now for this year?
Do you have a line up for that?
Yeah, I do. Well, it's not gonna be as much for next year, but I have the line item that I'm using to I can get at least caught up with sidewalks that the village has to pay for. I'll have enough for this year. That's why I want him to start before August. So I can use that budget.
Oh, right, we have remaining.
Yes. But then the August, I will have more to do people's houses that I've talked to that wants them done.
And that's the 50/50.
And that's the 50/50 unless they have trees, which there is a couple of them that I've talked to, especially on Front Street, down by Les's place, the sidewalks are causing it.
The trees are causing.
Right.
Yeah, what is that that makes it
Tree roots. Because you're putting a very dense piece of wood in a 3-foot area and expect it not to grow. That's the problem.
So where the trees have caused it, we pay 100%.
Yes, sir.
And then if you just need your sidewalk, we down it's 50/50.
I assume all those trees are our ownership.
Yes.
They're between the sidewalk and
I thought some of them have right of way concerns where we didn't technically own the berm or some.
If there's not a place that we don't own, then let me know, because I'm under the impression we own the berm.
or we at least put the trees in.
And I keep telling the people, if we take the tree down, if we get that grant through the county, we can put this, help me out, what do they call it, the little spruce trees that doesn't grow very tall. Flower trees, whatever, dwarf tree.
Yeah.
There you go, there you go.
We're looking for small.
The little trees.
expensive, yeah.
Current code
No
says it's
maples.
gotta be 12 foot above the sidewalk.
Yeah, forget the hard.
As long as they don't grow into the power lines, because if they get through, heck,
Sir, that's what the current code says, we will have to address that law.
what's that?
Current code says trees have to be cut 12 foot above the sidewalk for clearance. That is our current law. So we will have to address that if we're gonna put dwarf.
Well, you get those small decorative trees, they won't get that big.
Right, so we have to address our
So you have
law.
to address your law. I didn't know that was in there.
Figure out what New York State says.
Yes, ma'am.
Question, so, did you put this out for, like, bid for people to bid on it?
Yes, it is.
How many people, like, did you send it to?
I sent everybody, we put it in the paper.
Three people picked up bid packages. And only one person bid.
Only one company bid in it? And so they just filled out your form that you created for you?
Which are pretty much what he charged us last year to do sidewalks. That was very reasonable.
Reasonable price.
Sir, this question, have we fulfilled their obligation?
You're not obligated. In fact, when you do a competitive bid, you are not allowed to affirmatively send it out to people. That's like picking your contract.
Right. Each one we're going to put through.
You just put it out there,
Yeah, just put it out, hope people pick it up.
and we don't have to put any specific, like, wherever we put it was fine.
Just the official newspaper, which Rod and his folks always use.
Okay, I propose that we accept Stevens Masonry, bids for the sidewalks.
I'll second that.
You're bigger than me.
Is that the current reference? Is it sidewalks or what do we call the project?
Well,
This is concrete pricing, or
Says-
sidewalk project.
Self-help
so
services.
it was a sidewalk project.
Concrete pricing for sidewalk projects.
What it is.
And then it's choosing a vendor.
And I assume we have a number for these,
We will have when he starts his first job.
what do you call that?
To the state? Yeah. Yeah.
What's
No,
available?
really,
Yeah, but they,
Right, we need
it's
a
huge.
job number.
Each contract does it, they'll have to get a new job.
The state said we could do something where we get like a job number for the whole season. Sidewalks.
Well, I'm gonna let you.
Oh, I hope so. I'll call her though. I'll call her.
I'm gonna let Fred make that call.
I'll call her.
We had our.
I'm on speed dial with her.
Thought there was some kind of option there. If you're using the same person, like doing the same kind of project, you could.
Yeah, I'll talk to her about it.
Very good.
Because I did talk to her and we filled out the application to send all that out.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Because he's gonna have to pay prevailing wage no matter what he's charging.
Correct. Which that's part of his prevailing wages.
Any other questions, Rusty?
Yes, Rodney, would you read the motion back, please?
I don't have a good motion here to see,
That's why I wanted it read back.
you're gonna award the sidewalk contract to Stephen Stubbs.
No, that's not what you said at all.
Let me Forget it,
Good, I'm glad you're saying that.
forget it. I'll put it in there when I'm done.
Stephen Masonry.
I'll listen to the tape. You're gonna vote no, so what difference?
Would you mind not doing that, please?
It's the point of your complaint. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand what your concern is.
I heard the motion,
Right.
and I wanted to hear it back from Rodney, because the motion didn't say we were accepting a contract.
That's where I want you to get to, is what is the point of this
Yes.
discussion?
That's why I was asking what the motion was. That's not what I thought the motion was. The motion was to accept these quotes.
Read back the motion.
Okay, we accept the bid from Stevens Masonry to do the concrete work for sidewalks in the village.
Do we have to amend that to include the contract? I believe is where Mr. Fuller's going with this.
So it should be a motion to award the self-help bid, what do we call it, self-help services sidewalk projects bid to whatever this company's name is.
Stevens Masonry.
Stevens Masonry.
Do you have a copy of this, Rod?
Authorizing the mayor to sign a contract
It's right there.
for those services.
That's not what was said earlier, which is why I was talking.
Meditation time,
There you
2
go.
minutes.
Stuck on you.
Elevator. Elevator.
So I would make the motion that we, wait, it's already,
Friends
I already made the motion and Charles seconded it.
nobody seconded
Yeah,
the
we
second
had-
one.
Charles did.
Ron and Charles.
Oh.
And Nate tried to tell us what the language ought to be in that motion, or give us advice on that,
So did you,
which wasn't still the language on the second.
So then
did
if
you write it down?
Fran amends her motion, track.
Laura, it's right at the top of the,
Yeah, I could repeat what Nate had said. Or
self-help
you
services for the sidewalk projects. Right at the top of the,
Right, but we need a little more information on the motion, Fran, is where she's going with this.
Concrete. Pricing for concrete.
So it was a motion to award the lowest bidder for the self-help services sidewalk of concrete projects in the village of Owego to Stevens Masonry. And to authorize the mayor to sign a contract for those services. Then, Fran, if you would amend your motion to track what I just said, and then Charles seconded it.
did you get all that, Rod?
No.
It's on the table.
It's on the tape.
Yell at somebody else about that.
I'm not gonna.
Sign the contract.
So amended by Fran, seconded by Charles.
This is where I usually go on the. Any other discussion about that?
Yeah, last piece, so I don't have to fight with that anymore. In general, I don't think it's the very best thing for us to do contracts and nobody's seen a contract and nobody knows what's in it. I just don't think that's our best thing, and we're doing that quite often, where, oh yeah, there's a contract, oh sure, we all vote to take that. That, in general, I'm just talking in general.
Yeah, and
This one confuses me, and I'll fight with you this time. This one confuses me because Fred brought this exact spreadsheet like 2 months ago and said, I'm gonna send this out to bid.
Right.
Cool. We all said, okay.
no, what Rusty's talking about now is the actual contract itself. And so I
And the
drafted,
specifics and things there that might be not right, might be wrong. might be-
I drafted that as it was part of the bid pack. So it's gone out to the contractors already. They've all seen it. It's gone through myself.
And I have confidence in you and Mike, but I'm just saying in general, it's not the very best thing for us to constantly be approving contracts that we haven't seen, haven't read, don't know. That's it, that's all I want to say.
Anybody else? Just we'll vote on this, Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Charles.
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Rusty.
If it's all right with Rodney, yes.
What? What the heck?
What else you got, Fred?
I'm good.
I got
I'm
something.
good. Good enough.
Right.
Excuse me.
I don't know if the lifeguards told you, I ran into
Tell
a
me a lot
situation
every
with the, apparently, naked man tried to return to the,
There's a lot of people, it's that pool.
well, I was there when that happened and he was all up in the faces of the lifeguards, so I
There's a
stepped
lot
in.
of adult
Aren't our
females that don't live in the village or up in the lifeguard space every day.
Aren't our lifeguards under the age of
I was
18?
that close to physically
So then
throwing
that
him
is
out of there.
exposing yourself to a minor, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's why I
There are other
stepped in.
minors there too, and they should have been arrested last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I suggest the next time he makes his appearance.
If it was my daughter or son, I'd be pitching
I
the
agree. I think the lifeguards take way too much for what we pay them.
if they don't know how to handle conflict, which is a whole nother
I was
issue.
that close to
But they,
dragging him out
but
myself.
they come to me,
But they should feel safe at work.
absolutely.
I just
But
have to
there's
be
people
there.
out of this village just come in here and really razz them.
Yeah.
Which I think is a bunch.
That's why I wanted to hire a bouncer.
Yep, I agree.
Security guard or
We
something.
shouldn't have to, but here we are.
I agree.
Just bad.
I agree. 100%.
Because you get that to the wrong person, you get the wrong parent come in and they're both going to jail.
I agree 100% with you.
We can prevent this.
It's every day. It's every blessed
Like
day.
I said, shut the pool down. I don't think we
Oh,
need
I told him, they got my
the
number.
headache.
Well,
I'm in the
But
area.
that's too late.
I would just like to
Dispatch
say
and
adult
Charles and
swim has been very well attended and the lifeguards have been wonderful this year.
That's
So-
good, but I need them before that.
I know. Maybe you need more of us there doing laps. But
That's true.
Might be
These
interesting.
16, 17-year-old, 15-year-olds shouldn't have to put up with that.
We're gonna get blacklisted by these people. They refuse to work here.
But they've already threatened me that. That was that last year.
So should we be looking to hire an adult person to be there?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I already got a job.
Our concern was if we hire a gate person, if you will, they have to be certified lifeguard or not, was where we had.
I don't think you would have to be certified lifeguard as long as you're not being a lifeguard.
Right. As long as you're not, like, there's actual other lifeguards.
It's getting brutal. The last 2 years have been brutal.
If we can't protect them, we shouldn't have it. That's my
Agreed. I
opinion.
agree 120% of that.
So obviously, it's not our job here to manage this pool,
I did.
but we need to inform these young lifeguards, if there's the slightest glitch, they're to call the police.
They've been told that millions of times.
Well, they need to be reinforced with that and tell them that that's exactly what we want them to do, that's exactly what we demand that they do, and there will be no repercussion for them for doing it, they need to do that, for their protection, et cetera, et cetera.
That's why we use that 10 minutes between them showing up and them calling.
I'm not arguing against having something, but they need to do that. at
Well,
this
that's
point.
what my complaint is. OPD should patrol it more often during, after 4 o'clock.
There's a little police pub station right there in Marvin Park.
That's not my jurisdiction.
Right, which I know I talked to Mike, and he was. Well, he's going to come out.
I mean, if something doesn't
This is a
happen,
management issue.
if it doesn't happen, the pool will not be open, I can tell you that. 'Cause you ain't gonna find lifeguards, you barely can find enough now.
I wouldn't send my kid to be a lifeguard there.
Bingo.
So we should figure that out.
I've been saying that something's gotta happen.
That is my list. I can do everything. All right, anything else?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Sure you don't cause some trouble?
I don't want to cause trouble, I just wanna.
EMS?
So, for last month of June, we had 113 calls we responded to, 6 were mutually given. Membership has 2 applications, but they haven't done the interviews taken up to the board yet, so hopefully those will be coming soon. As far as vehicles go, 2031, 30,000, no issues. 2032, The good news is they finally started working on it. They took the box off, removed the chassis, and they're starting to work on the paint. They sent Mike and I pictures last week. I think it was.
An ambulance, maybe they were ours.
I hope they're ours.
So we can't ask for it back.
So,
They did give a date too, right?
well,
Well, time frame anyway.
yeah, they're thinking towards the fall, but
Yeah. See how that goes.
yeah.
Later this year.
2033's got 176,000 miles, 2034's got 51, and 2051's got 50,000. We did get our new monitors and auto pulses in service just in time for Strawberry Festival, so we were able to use them. So they're working well. We also got our Laredale mannequin. It's been delivered and the members have been trained. We're working on getting our cradle points that we ordered for the ambulances, so that way we can have internet in the ambulances for the new monitors, the tablets, and those sorts of things. We did get mounts for them. They've been delivered, so we got to work on getting those installed this week because they just came last week. Strawberry Festival went well on Friday and Saturday, so we were able to make some EMS upgrades according to the IEP and they requested a committee, so that was good. So that way we were covered under Part 18 for the fireworks on Friday night and through all of Saturday. So
Right,
that was new, and that was a
Friday we got, they had the crowd.
yeah. So we did that, and it worked out well. We also simultaneously did graduation. So we divided and conquered and took care of both events on Friday night. We also participated with the fire department in the OFA senior parade from AES to OFA. So that was another successful event. Rig checks, doing the electronic tracking for that's going well. Time clock's working. End of shift reports are working well. So that way we're able to gather from all of our staff as to what's happening for the paid staff and for the volunteers, because the shift reports, we can use the data they give us from that for the low stat program and that kind of stuff. That helps us with the documentation on that end. And then, of course, the old issue with the sewer and the building. Any questions? All right. And then can we have an executive session at the end?
Act relating to hiring, firing, promotion, discipline, et cetera, of an employee.
Will we have an executive session?
I think they're probably all the way.
Somebody want to second that?
I'll second that.
We gotta vote on that, do it at the end. Melissa?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Before I vote, we want to fight in.
Derek.
Derek?
Who else coming in?
Mike and Derek, no doubt.
Derek and I.
And I'll vote yes.
Thank you for the clarification.
And 7 of us aren't gonna stare at each other, you know?
We do that now.
Let's stay till 11.
All right. Thank you.
You were hoping.
We're short agenda.
Oh, you want me to do your?
I know, right? We're never paying that.
All right, now we're gonna do our joint
Oh, I was gonna say, do fire.
discussion.
We'll do joint first.
Okay.
Like, we recently solicited proposals for the installation of a door fob access control system at the following locations: Central Station, front and back, Company 2's room / EMS, current EMS room, front and back, Station 2, front and back. 3 proposals were finally received: the computer shop at $12,700, Sentry Alarms at $14,400, Everon / ADT at $16,410. Mike and I recommend moving forward with the computer shop for the following reasons: lowest responsible bid. Their bid was the most cost effective, saving $1,700 compared to the next lowest bid and $3,710 compared to the highest. Shared costs with EMS. The total project will be split with EMS, reducing the financial impact on the village and making this a fiscally responsible solution. Local vendor advantage. The computer shop is a local business with a strong reputation for reliability and support. Their proximity will allow for quicker response times and lower service costs moving forward. The owner is also a fire chief in Fort Dickinson?
Fort
Fort Crane, thank you.
One of the ports.
It meets all our functional requirements. This proposal included all hardware, installation, configuration, and staff training needed to fully implement the system. Improve security and access control. The system will enhance the security of all involved facilities while providing streamlined access for both fire and EMS personnel. We respectfully request approval to move forward with the computer shop to implement this system. And we both budgeted it in our system.
I have one question with that.
Sure.
Do they know we're on the county's IT?
I am not.
What?
Fire is not on the county IT.
Really? But the building is, isn't it?
So the building's got both systems. It's got the county IT system and the local
I did
cable
not
provider,
join
basically.
the county
And so he
program.
still has the county system, which that's gonna be hooked up to along with his cameras and all the rest of the stuff that he has in the building.
Everything I have currently is off a Spectrum modem handled by the computer shop. There's nothing the county
County's real picky about that.
county does not touch any of my stuff.
I'm just wondering, like, so this building and the police station have, I think, the same system, or that's the same system.
But I could find out. But because it's both over 5,000,
Great.
it's both in our budgets. We worked it in.
So you taking a 2025 budget or 26?
2025 to 2026 budget.
The new budget.
Yes, so it won't be done until after August.
How long are these basically for? 30 days? Is that the general?
Whoever they ask somebody for bids for, they probably honor them for 30, 45 days.
Jason's really good.
Oh. Yeah, this only the head check is, can't do it. I don't want to say cheaply, but very heavy control software, 2 places there.
I tried
Over that.
Syracuse Time and Alarm and they never
That's what
bothered.
did this building.
Right, they never bothered calling back.
Overall, it's a good idea.
You have paperwork to share with us
Yep.
about?
I need to vote on that?
Do you want to copy this or pass it around? or
You can
what?
pass it around.
We need a motion. And do we know where we're gonna take the money from? That's always the biggest question. Building.
Please do this tiniest bit of discussion before we make instantaneous motions on our steps.
I don't think we can make a motion. We still have an outstanding question. We're sure of clarification.
Betcha. That's what I'm trying to say. So
I think
Chief?
we have to very least be tabled to the next meeting.
can I ask a question, Chief?
Mhm.
Who will have these electronic access to these buildings?
Any member of the EMS or fire,
So we're gonna have 300 ops for the fire department.
if you don't have a smartphone, yes. They are included in the proposal.
What is our process for people who may decide to go elsewhere or no longer become members? How do we?
See, that's the problem right now, is our keys never get returned. So we have millions of keys out there, and we can't easily go in and shut them off, where this system will allow us to
So
go,
we can just cut them off the service.
and you're done. Yes, there are thousands and thousands of keys that are out there, and we have no
Not that
idea.
it's happened that I'm aware of, but people get disgruntled for various reasons.
Absolutely.
The solution is much more.
Yes.
If I have a vendor showing up, I don't have to call around trying to find one of my guys, hey, can you go down? I can just click a button,
Right.
doors open, go in, do what you need to do on the truck. It ties in with my cameras that are already there. So
This is part of that technology I don't quite understand.
I'm with you. And who would have access as far as admin?
whoever we want right now, it's gonna be Mike and I, and anybody can be an admin.
Just goes to shared buildings.
Right, yep.
We've run into issues before with who gets keys made.
Don't even get me started.
So I'm glad to hear that it's both.
Don't get me started on that. That is such a pain.
Okay, so
People.
just
I think so.
clarify, you're saying, this app, everybody would have their app on their phone?
Yep.
To do
Or they
it,
can have a physical. I don't
and
have
then when you wanna,
Same as we have. for this.
have someone no longer have that, you can
I can shut them off.
shut them off
Computer.
to their phone number.
Or if they have a fob, I can shut the fob off.
Okay,
Eric, did that key situation get fixed? Like somebody can make keys to the station.
There's a list, but yeah.
The one that Paul has.
Is Rod or the mayor on the list?
Yeah, oh yeah. So is Fred,
More
Mike,
and more.
me, Mike's on there, Rod's on there,
I didn't even have a key.
Fred's on there, yeah. I,
You gotta drive a fire truck.
no, I expanded that last year when I became chief. I was like, this is ridiculous.
I know.
3 people can make keys.
I know.
I don't know if I have to make a motion over it. I think we should table this to the next meeting. We don't have
What's
all
that
the
when you
information
get
we need.
Here. Yeah. You're talking about. Because I assume the quote was on Charles Street.
Yeah.
He didn't mention it.
That way I give them time
Yeah.
to ask you questions.
We've been working on this for over a year, so.
I mean, this is how the school district runs it.
Do you
too.
have any
It's-
more information you want the chief to bring back for the next meeting so that you're all prepared to vote potentially at the next meeting?
And you want to spend next year's money anyway, so.
Right.
And if we said to do it tonight, you can't do it.
We wanted to check a section of the code, the village code, chapter 23, fire department. 23-1 is regulations pertaining to fire stations. And A says the fire stations shall be locked between the hours of 9 PM and 6 AM each day to prevent the general public from entering. The locking and unlocking will be accomplished by the membership of the Owego Fire Department.
It also says the chief of police will light the lanterns at 1800 every night. I don't see him out there lighting the lanterns.
But it does say general public and fire department.
Yeah.
Section?
But not general.
Just so you know, section D says the general public will be allowed to enter any station which is unlocked between the hours of 6 and 9, which is supposed to be unlocked according to this. I can't remember. Entrance is allowed for review of our fine firefighting equipment. And just telling you that it's in our,
There's federal laws that supersede that after 9/11.
So then it sounds like we need to reevaluate our code and address some further issues going on.
If you ever read that code book, front
I
to
read that
back,
code book all the time.
Yeah, we do.
it
There's
needs
a lot
to.
of things in there that are super.
That's nice, but it's our code book and it's our law, and it's not up to us to just say we're going to ignore it. We need to take care of these things.
Well,
If we have these things, we need to
Like I
change
said
them.
though,
We have to
it
do
also
those.
says the police chief will light the lanterns at dusk.
I bet you can't find it in here.
I bet you I can have it at home printed out.
Oh, you rascal.
Just because of issues like that.
Like
So, well, the code says, well, we're gonna follow the code here, but we won't follow it here.
And I do know a system like this would make something like that.
Rusty knows me, black and white. I don't like this. If we're not gonna follow it, then,
No gray area.
right, what's the point of having?
A system like this would make that a lot easier, because like the one that's here, I can go in the back and program the computers, so that 8 in the morning, the door's unlocked.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's the difference with replacing a metal key with a fob?
Because it says the door should be open.
Because then it will be locked.
A person can't go to the station for help.
They can't now,
They can't get to the station.
There's a doorbell. Ring the bell.
but they can't get in now. I'm not going down every day.
Doors
to
are
unlock
locked
it.
all the time.
And you can't, the system now is you can't unlock it. You can only unlock open. As soon as you pull your key out, it's locked. So as that door shuts behind me,
Yep.
We need to address our code, is what
Yes.
this is going down to.
Is there a proposal to amend the code then as well?
that's beyond me.
We may do that.
Because as soon as somebody goes in there and does something mischievous, that it's gonna be, well, why wasn't the doors locked?
Right, yeah.
So anyway, procedure, you know me, you procedure, all that stuff. And so I've already said stuff about this before. If we're gonna have ambulances in there, we need not to have the general public in there because, if the fire trucks are there, that was one thing. Ambulances in there, that's a whole different ballgame about people being able to wander around.
Medicine.
So I wasn't
Narcotics.
arguing about that. I was just,
That's gotta be updated. You're right.
Common sense.
Well, they're normally locked anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, they're always locked.
Always locked, that's why I said there's a doorbell there. Ring the bell.
Right, same as a police station.
Prior to 1996, I think, the old locks, it was always open. You didn't need anything.
We had a methodology where we could turn it one way and it would unlock the door.
But around
That
96,
wasn't so crazy.
they got rid of that.
Right. All right, so we'll come back to that.
Yep. We had 27 calls in June, 162 total for the year, which is 9 less than last year, so we're trending in the right direction. We went mutual aid 4 times. We received mutual aid once when our ladder truck was out of service. Ladder truck is now in service at an additional $7,400. The guy from Albany had to spend a day and come down and repair it. Ended up being a solenoid underneath that operates the whole mechanism of the truck. That solenoid is down. The truck can only go forward, back, and turn. It can do nothing else. So that was replaced, as I said, $7,400. Above and beyond running calls, just a couple of highlights. We landed Guthrie Air over across at the old middle school. I had 5 members complete EVOC. That's 17 hours of classroom instruction, hands-on, and an obstacle course. We escorted the 7th and 8th grade band and chorus after their first place wins, plural, at Hershey Park Music Event. OFA Senior Parade, as Mike had said, we did a workday day at Marvin Park on the pavilion to clean up and repair the vandalism. We participated at the OES Field Days, and we did the Strawberry Festival fireworks, walked in the parade. All our trucks were in the parade, including the ladder. Then we held a dunk tank fundraiser, thanks to Mike and Charles for standing by and getting dunked with me. We raised $1,400, which was a nice.
Wow. Well, we got no credit off.
Yeah.
We know who made the money.
Yes, it was me. At Fire Board, they tallied everything up, and I was the one who got dunked the most. So thank you, thank you. I think most of those guys were nice like employees, if you ask me. But,
You didn't take long climbing back up on the seat. That's the thing.
yeah. At the end, my knees were buckling. And then my final thing is, I met with Commissioner Glader, Commissioner Van Hall, the mayor, and Chief of EMS Mike Roden, and we would like to do a feasibility study of relocating EMS out of Central Fire Station. And
We're gonna start looking for grants, right?
Yep.
That's the whole.
Big grants.
There's lots of grants out there. Derek has already found one that's out there for 3.1. But we wanted to bring that up and say that that's what we're gonna start looking to do.
To give up their access with the fobs and all that.
It's gonna be at least 5 to 6 years.
Do you have to make a motion and move this forward?
No, I mean, we can.
Okay.
Yes, you have to make motions quickly and fast and lots.
And then I
The first step will be a grant for the feasibility study.
yes,
Because those typically costs.
and I think I have 2 new members.
Yes, at this point, at this,
I believe so.
at this most, moment, I would like to, make a motion to accept Elizabeth Nito. She has an application for company number 2. Been vetted through the fire board, so I'd like to make a motion to accept her into company 2.
I'll second it.
Thank you, very much.
All right, any discussion or questions on Liz as far as fire department? Looks like she has some.
Employee.
She's an employee. She's an ambulance worker. Volunteering as a fireman, probably okay, because that's a very different set of services that she'd be providing.
And she has experience.
Maybe another pay position would be an issue.
Was in Fort Dick. And has a couple of fire classes and stuff, and Hillcrest. And she lives in the village. So, anything else about Liz? We vote on accepting her company number 2. Right?
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rusty,
I should have asked my questions earlier.
and yes.
Second application member is Stephen Porter Jr. I make the motion to accept him into company number 4. He too went through the process through the fire board and has been accepted through the fire board, so
I'll second that.
very much.
Did you spell his last name? What was his last name?
Porter, like,
Porter, okay.
like the concrete place. I just like saying his name. Steven.
What was the company again? Thanks.
4.
Thank you.
All right, any discussion on Stephen? Questions? So he lives in the village also.
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and Rusty.
Yes.
Yes.
He's got little kids, that's the sketches all over the
Oh,
application.
So it is written, so it shall be done.
His 3-year-old got a hold of it and a pen and marked it up.
It's not an attorney that has that problem periodically.
Yeah, right. Always good to have new members.
Yes. Anything for me?
Thank you, Chief.
Absolutely.
When we do the roof, are we gonna do the downspouts to separate the sewer line from the, I mean, I thought that was the plan. Is that where we're
That was
try
going
do
to James at Hunt last I knew.
that? We have to do something.
Yeah, I should bring that up.
Same problem.
Time to do it.
I forgot.
Can we get that dunk tank like every 2 weeks?
So Thursday, I did meet with Hale Roofing on the roof of Central Station. They're the ones that are gonna be doing the replacement. Scaffolding is apparently hard to come by right now, so they're willing to do repairs. However, the clock tower is once again infested with about 20 pigeons.
Which brings a question into mind. If it gets cleaned again, I mean, it's gonna be,
It's gotta be cleaned.
the transition of cleaning and then fixing is gonna happen then, because if there's a time period in between, we should put some
We,
kind of
we
mesh.
need to secure it,
Some kind of
one way or
mesh
another.
covering, whatever
There's
holds.
2, well, there's a door and then there's a hatch. And then all the louvers have basically no mesh behind them. And it needs to be done, otherwise we're gonna have Sunstream come in, do it, and it's gonna,
We got a bunch of stray cats, right? Throw them up there.
Right.
We can get rid of them.
so
Yeah,
we're,
no, it needs to be clean and then secured.
yes.
So
So do we want Fred to move forward to getting Sunstream out again?
What were we used last time?
Yeah, you're the chief.
If you give me the contact info, I'll call
I
him.
would love to.
Up to what? Call and get the contact info.
Call him, because he's gonna be, screaming at me.
So how bad is it now, Chief?
Not as bad, there are carcasses and droppings, but not nearly as bad.
So
Are
if
they
you
like
want, if you want the
candles?
gentleman to do it, we kind of like a,
Pigeon
kind of like a better
carcasses.
price.
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely get a price before I
No,
move
you got
forward.
pretty good. Yeah, well, it's like very, very little.
Yeah, the
Sucks,
first,
you already paid for it once.
I know, the first entrance is just droppings, but you climb the ladder to the clock tower itself, and there's dead carcasses there. Again.
Crazy pigeons.
Yep.
The bird.
Yep.
That's what I was afraid of when we got last time.
Yeah. Presents disappearing.
Just chicken, only need to start in there on their way.
Department? He sent us the.
Yeah, he sent us
Yes.
I think he emailed out, he had his
Yes, he did.
thing, and he was in there today trying to get it emailed out.
Does anybody have it?
I didn't get here in time to get it in his box.
Uh,
I tried to open it up, but it's on the back, so I didn't get to.
No, Chief.
There it is.
Yeah.
Alright, so they did, for June, 780 calls for the police department, 23 arrests, 4 felonies, 7 misdemeanors, 8 mental health, 4 warrant violations, 41 traffic tickets, 67 parking tickets, 7 motor vehicle accidents, and 0 DWIs.
With the bars are closed.
Everybody's being good. No? Anything else, police department? Sewer department?
No. He sounds over your
Clerk's not here. We have something to report.
Our employee Jeff Duke passed the 3A certification. It will be forthcoming. He's looking to get some kind of compensation, which I think would make sense as he needs a little bit of supervisory experience, but he will be certified to run the facility and we may have a backup other than that as far as now. But if he were to happen to dirt,
Great.
and we don't compensate, they tend to leave and go elsewhere. But I know we have a different kind of financial pool to choose from, and sewer as opposed to water.
That reminds me of the CSCA contract negotiations, we can get that team together, negotiating team to talk about that. I understand why he's asking. We need to consider raises in the great context of the contract negotiations. I don't remember the CSCA contract also had merit raises, like, otherwise done, so you need to double check that and consider the impact in the negotiations anyway.
That's true, we can't discuss.
That's what happened last time.
People raises.
Yeah, the same exact thing happened last time. So raises were proposed right 5 minutes before we're gonna do a contract negotiation, which is kind of icy.
Yeah.
But here or there, just, yeah.
I guess I appreciate it. What's up? I appreciate it. Oh, I'm gonna go to communications. We got a petition for this chicken thing going on over in Olmsted. So I'll share this with everybody, but they did get a bunch of signatures from Olmsted Development that want the creation of a village ordinance to disallow the presence of livestock, including chickens, within village limits. Chickens and chicken feed are the source of rat infestations we're experiencing. Chicken and chicken feed draw rats and bear in their development, which possess serious public health and safety concerns, as well as mental health. So, share this with everybody, but they got a page full of people supporting that. So.
Yeah, we do that. Is anybody gonna be grandfathered into previously owning these things, or how does that work?
Jerry has some information.
That's what we have to figure out. It's just a petition that these residents want us to do something.
I spoke to Daniel Shear from the Tioga County Health Department on the chicken things. And this is what their opinion was that we could do for chickens. If you had chickens, there were not to be more than 5 chickens. They could not be like on the lot line. You would have to have a little bit of a distance from other homes. You would definitely want to put, if you were allowing 5 chickens in there, that you would not, the neighbors would not be able to smell the chickens. And he says that's the really important part. He said, because if it's cleaned up after, you cannot smell the chickens. And he said, obviously a rodent problem or a bear problem, it is something that if it isn't addressed, that's a problem. And that is where the public health could step in, because they could go and investigate that as the public health department. So if that someone had an issue, they could have someone there. But their opinion was having 5 chickens or less in an area is okay, but you have to maintain it. And that is indeed the problem. So would we want to outlaw the chickens, or would we want to, do some sort of code where if it smelled bad, if there was more than 5 chickens, if it was on someone's lot line, then they would be, not allowed.
My question with that be, how do we verify you're not allowed to go onto somebody's property to count chickens without being invited? How does that work?
So the neighbors would invite you onto their property and mark on eyeballs to tell how many chickens there
So
are.
probably the ones-
Well, I'm sure they'll
They'll
rat
be
each
the ones
other out,
complaining.
but
It would be the
Right,
same
I
thing
mean-
with the smell. If
Yeah,
the neighbors
stand
say
down
it's
the lane.
smelly, okay, let me on and I'll take a whiff and.
Yeah.
I can smell it.
So I mean, because they felt like, some people do a nice job with their chickens, and it's kind of unfair to say to some people, no, you can't, but this was just their opinion at this point, and they, we could certainly call if there was issues with the rats and such. They would be more than happy to go talk with the neighbors that are complaining and file their complaints, file their things, so. But that was from the health department.
out of curiosity, do we have any other animal concerns other than like
This is,
certain Is there like cows or
petition
something? I don't get
onto
around the village a lot, like in Halsted.
Anybody that has anything
There
crazy.
used to be alpacas.
Used to be horse village.
So chicken is our primary.
Yeah, because it
Pig,
domino effect of
yeah, we have
Oh.
a pig.
Pig?
Kevin Bacon, the pig.
Kevin
Lives
Bacon.
on Front Street.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
Wow.
Ron, we haven't discussed this or come up with a lot in detail thing, but I suspect that we're likely to say we want to have an animal ordinance and that we'll keep farm animals, exotic animals, et cetera, and and roosters was a big complaint. But one of our glitches was chickens because some folks, no, it doesn't matter, everybody had any opinion, some folks on the board thought that chickens should be allowed. Many people and however many there are in the village thought chickens should be allowed. So that is kind of our sticking point on the.
I don't live next to chickens, so I don't know what
Yeah.
the repercussions are
Yeah.
of living next to chickens.
You would have rats.
Well-
I did a meeting with chickens and it was really nice to see, and I didn't have problems with rats and stuff then. And, I didn't hear them, I didn't smell them. And it was really nice, but you didn't even know they had chickens.
Well, I think this is pertaining to people who are excessive.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't clean up behind them. They make it bad for the others.
That old 40 dog,
Bad apple.
200 square foot house.
Yeah,
Right.
lemon cats.
There's a lot of residents in town who do have chickens and we just don't know about them because they're not a problem.
Right.
There's a small number.
I imagine if you store the food properly, they would take care of the rat issue.
Well, that's the problem.
And
People don't.
irresponsible pet owners or
Right.
whatever they call them. I don't know if they call them pets or not. I have no idea.
Have the right.
Chicken wranglers.
Yeah. But that was just what the health department said. They also said with roosters, they wouldn't recommend roosters in the village, but.
It's
that was a whole
interesting,
other-
this is all interesting, and that's a resource and good research, but it's still interesting about what their opinion might be and why it might be that. Or if they said no roosters, how is that a health department issue? I'm just saying.
Picking on the cocks.
Sound coordinates.
What?
Coordinates.
They're
That's
picking
not a-
on the cocks.
Well, that's a.
But anyways, it's a
We
resource.
already got rid of the roosters. Let's not go back.
Well, no,
I'm talking about the health department and their opinion.
Oh,
I didn't.
How about the fair? What are you gonna do when there's a fair in town? They got horses in the horse barns.
well, that's,
That's a horse of a
that's,
different
yeah,
color.
it's totally
No,
different. We're
that's
talking about
so.
residential areas here.
Well, it's in the village.
But there's no residence right next to it.
There's rats. If people have dogs, you have rats. If you live by the river, I know because I have an exterminator that comes to my house every 3 months and baits the rats. The barley corn, they don't have any dogs, but they have rats in back of the barley corn. And they also use the service, and probably most of the people on Front Street use that same service that tries to control, because the rats, when it rains, they go up in the trees.
Rats climb trees. I'm a
Yeah,
city boy. I
rats
don't
do
know.
climb trees. When they had the flood, the rats were in the trees,
I didn't see that. in
laughing
Willie.
at us. You're not gonna prevent just because you got a couple chickens.
you're not gonna prevent rats, especially if they live on the river.
Mr. Mayor.
And I've lived there for 27 years. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about.
So we received the petition and we'll put it into our consideration. Could we?
Move
Move
on.
on?
Go on, yeah.
We have first resolution. Racker Center, we're going to use pavilion number 2 on our Mount Park on August 12th. July 15th and August 12th. In the past, when these types of groups have wanted to use the pavilions over there, we've waived our rental fee. They requested that we do that.
Penny, is there anything you'd like to say?
Just,
I didn't know
I
you were
can
here.
stand up.
Go
So I work for Racker, and I am a community support professional. I bring these individuals with disabilities out into the community and try to integrate them. And one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that they had the opportunity to use the park and the pool, and do just a couple of fun days, summer days for them. So it'll just be a small group of individuals coming. We will have it from like 12 until 5:30, 6 o'clock. Just an opportunity for them to come out, make friends with each other, socialize, and have lunch together, and maybe do a little bit of crafting, and also use the pool.
And you have your own staff and stuff that comes.
Excuse me?
You have like your own staff and stuff that comes with it.
Every individual will come with a staff person. So it's usually one-on-one. Occasionally they'll have more than one individual with them, but usually it's just a one-on-one. So each individual comes with a community support.
I myself am also employee of Racker. I'm a direct support professional as well as Penny. So we all have our clients, and it'll be a good thing that Frank can have this.
So with the public being the pool too, because I'm all for integration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had.
Noon to 6. Yep.
Like in the past, we've done Cub Scout camp there, but we take them with the pool, and the pool's just open.
Right, well, I mean, particularly with that population, the idea is to get them integrated with the public so they understand each other.
They're all supervised.
I used to do that line of work myself.
Rusty, what do you got?
Yeah, I was just, wanted to get a general feel of what kind of number are we sniffing at it for this?
In the
5,
past,
10, 100?
No more than 20, I would say, and that's probably including the support person as well.
This is a side thing, because I'm trying to remember, I thought, was Racker asking us for something else, or was this, I thought there were 2 things that Racker wanted. Just the only thing.
2 days.
2 days.
I understand that there are 2 days, but my brain was just remembering something else.
Waive the fee.
What?
Waive the fee.
Well, I got that part too. No, I thought that there was another activity this is just the only activity. Okay. And so I'm not making the motion, because I'm not making motions real fast here. But I am gonna recommend that, because this is how we should do things. Be fine with me, we waive the fee, but I would like us to get a deposit. I think we should always get deposit. And we do get deposit, but they get to have that back.
Oh, like a security deposit to make sure.
Yeah, for cleanup deposit, whatever. I'm not saying Racker's gonna make a mess or do anything, but that's just a thing we should.
But we don't ask for a deposit for the public.
Oh, we do.
Oh, this is for the pavilion. I'm thinking of the pool. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no,
Pavilion.
No deposits in the pool.
How much is
Yeah,
the,
no.
how much is?
they can manually leave the deposit in the pool.
How
Right here.
much is
I-
the deposit?
just-
$35.
I'll pay the $35. How about that?
Well, nobody has to pay it, they just write a check.
You were in a check on
They
it.
get
After we.
Deposit is refunded. And once again, this is here nor there on that, but when we take care of a bunch of fees, not for them, we need to have a bigger deposit fee on something like this too. Because we've had people leave these things.
Because if we trash, it's gonna cost us more than $35.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's my input on that.
Can we pull this right now?
Yeah. Okay.
Make the motion.
And make it good so Rodney gets it right.
It's already written down.
I'm just.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm just filling the blank.
I'll second the motion.
We want to add anything about?
If need be, just let me know. I'll write the check. We're not trashy people.
You got the motion, we got the second. Any other discussion about it? If I knew you were here, I'd done you like an hour.
She would have been so entertained. We should have put you first. I didn't know.
I didn't know who you were.
I knew, I just wanted to see how this process.
It's Charles's fault that you got
I
stuck
know.
here so long.
He's supposed to tell us.
Well, it's interesting to hear it. It's a good thing for people to come once.
Maybe
to
she's
see
getting
how it all
overtime.
Oh, maybe, yeah, that's true. All right, Obo, Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
and yes. Okay,
So it is written, so it shall be done.
so you're good.
On that note, I have had enough meetings, so thank you very much. I do appreciate
Oh,
it.
come on, sometimes we're here till 11.
Well, we kept you here through the
Thank
storm,
you.
so now it's nice out.
Sundown. Rainbow.
Payment of bills.
Who stops that?
Did we pay the bills?
That's my wife.
Anybody want to make the motion?
I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills for 6/14 through 7/01, 2025.
We have a second.
I'll second that.
Anybody have any questions about that or discussion?
Crazy or unusual.
All right, so we'll vote on the bills. We're up.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
and yes.
I see it. I see it.
What bills are you paying?
Oh,
What are they?
We get paid.
On our.
Nine pages.
Could I have a copy?
They're actually with the meeting stuff. So that's-
Yeah, I realize
That's a my
that, but,
question.
could I look at what you're paying?
Check that.
Yeah, you may.
Okay. Use this in order.
Make sure you
Mine's
get
like a mess.
I'll give it back.
I see. All right. Next thing is the tax warrant. So, as we pass the budget, we gotta approve the tax warrant. Send out the tax.
Where is it?
Just this.
Well, that's the motion.
Right. So this is the tax bill. You guys got a copy of it?
I didn't have a copy right. Looking at it now.
It's included the tax bill plus the delinquent sewer that people don't pay. How much is delinquent sewer?
292,000.
292,000 people don't pay the sewer. We'll get that back in March.
It goes into their.
The taxes.
Yeah.
It'll be on their tax bill.
And $5,000 for COVID. Same thing, if you get some kind of code thing and don't pay it, it goes on your taxes.
The garbage pickup and stuff too, like lawn and all that.
Yeah. Couches are very expensive these days, don't leave them out front.
Well, it's our mattresses. They soak up water and get heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And the tipping fee costs 3 times what it should.
Yeah, I heard they charge you extra.
Yeah.
So anybody want to make a motion to approve the tax?
I'll make a motion to approve the tax warrant, please.
Second.
Any discussion?
I've already made my views known on tax stuff today.
Bernie?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
And yes. Sign this, or forget. Minutes.
I motion to approve the minutes for the meeting.
For the meeting?
June 16th or
Yeah, we
30th?
did two sets, the June 16th meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussions on the June 16th minutes?
Yeah, I don't appreciate being appointed for the audit.
Well, you don't come as well.
Actually, you were, it was mentioned that you might be doing that again.
Don't miss me.
I got it for you.
You said you liked it. All right, what on those minutes? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Abstain.
Fran?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Charles?
Yeah.
And then I motion to approve the June 30th budget meeting as
Yes.
yeah.
I'll second
as
that.
needed.
Okay, any discussion on those minutes? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Brenda?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Charles?
Yep.
And yes. Moving right along. Trustee reports. Rusty?
No report.
Ron?
I did the court audit today.
See?
Just thought I would know. Thought I'd take care of that.
Thank you.
Right.
Anything else?
I did sign a petition regarding stop signs somewhere in the village.
Oh, cool. Charles?
I turned 62 on 4th of July.
Over 70.
I had a good birthday. Thank you everyone for your birthday wishes. That's all I got.
Wore your heart tonight.
Oh, I got my heart on my chest.
Don't look anything like Tom Cruise.
Nope.
Laura?
Rusty's birthday is April 15th.
Tax day.
Tax.
That's fitting.
I think it's what?
April 15th.
Yeah, tax day, I'm sorry, I can't hear good.
That's very fitting.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. President.
We got some tax numbers.
Talk about the manager. All right, Laura, what do you?
So, I've attended several webinars. Today was one on, the women and minority-owned businesses and how to deal with, reporting and that stuff. And I went to a conference thing in, class in Binghamton. It was like Boone County and Tahoe County planning and zoning and floodplain and wetlands related stuff. I've been answering questions for the solar PV array, and that deadline is Friday for that. So we, will collect what, and the committee will review what we've gotten and give a recommendation to the board. And
You got bids, you mean, or you got?
we're accepting bids. We have received one already. And the Southern Tier 8 Regional Council has money for us for doing a planning study or some sort of thing. Like a feasibility study, or but it has to be related to stormwater, green infrastructure. So the Climate Smart Task Force, some of the members on that, and Wendy from Tioga County Soil and Water Conservation District. They're looking at, and Julie, they're looking at what are some options that we could do with this available money. So like, it would be our match for the grants. They would provide the money for us.
It's a 50-50 match?
No, this is like one of the, I'm not sure, but it's either usually 75-25, and we would do the 25, or it's a 90-10, or we would do the 10. And if it's through the states, it's usually the 90-10. But we would have to, get confirmation on that. But
So are you asking to apply for that grant?
They would be coming here to, get it approved for what it is that they, what we would submit. So, we would like to maybe have them give us a better idea of what, what they would, what our possibilities are to apply for, and then present it at our next meeting, so that way we can decide, which way to go with it. And it would be due like July 31st. So that's why we'd have to do it now.
So what's the amount you're applying for?
If we have to figure out what what kind of study do we want to do. So one of the suggestions is another study of the Owego Creek, because the only part that's current is the section of the school, when they did the new elementary school and administration building, there was just that part of the, that levee system. That's the same thing. And so it's, one is to update that. Another could be something with the cemetery and the storm flow down through there, because we have older soil and water engineers.
Yeah, we should have a study of that.
We have several old ones, and so we could look at implementing some of those things. So that's like cleaning out the ditches and establishing a little bit of a program. They have stuff where you can, depending on what spot, you fill in like the divots where grave sites are with dirt, and then you plant stuff that you don't have to mow. So they put in the suggestions of the types of grass that is in the sunlight, and then what's in the shady spots, so that way you don't have to mow as much or waste as much gas. And then on the steep sides, they recommended plantings so that nobody has to weed whack those slopes anymore, and that stabilizes the banks and controls the erosion a bit more for us. And so there's a kind of a whole bunch of easier things that we could tackle, and so they could make a big difference for us.
Okay, so they'd be doing a study of that.
One of the possibilities.
Yeah.
So there's several things that we can look at. And then there's another grant where we might not possibly have funding for the match, but it's something that would be, that we'd have to submit in August. But that was something that I thought maybe we could use to look at the fire station disconnection, just to fix the problem we've been having. So.
Oh, the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which looks.
It's a green resiliency grant. They just released them, and so we need to, take a look and see, if we,
When does that
if we could submit in. This one would be, I think this one said it was August, mid-August. So.
That's that long.
Yeah, so we can just take a look and see what we can do, what projects we have that we could, quickly turn over to, get a study for. And then if we get awarded, the first one, we would have the money from the Southern Tier 8. And for the second, we'd have we'd only have to come up with a very small match to fix a big problem that we have. So we want to take a look at, what we could do, and then have maybe me and maybe somebody else present what grant, they want to apply for. And maybe Ashley from the Southern Tier 8 would say what they would like us to apply for with their, with their money.
So that would be at our next meeting?
Yeah.
Do the work and come back to us with stuff.
Yeah. But, they're big ideas. So, yeah, so I just don't want to blow everybody's mind coming back next time with big, some big studies, because.
She's talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I want to try, we're a disadvantaged community, and they're still giving us, disadvantaged communities have an advantage over, of a certain amount of, 40% of the funding goes to disadvantaged communities. So if we're in the game, we could get awarded. And I'm gonna come in and see Fred tomorrow about the
he is paranoid over this thing, please walk him through that website.
Sorry, Fred's next. Okay. Terry.
Not too much right now. OHPC meeting is on Thursday, and we have a public hearing on the possible barn demo on Main Street. They have some structural things. Code has gone out and looked at it and said that it is pretty dangerous, so. It is, I believe, 30 Page Street. You can see it from St. Pat's parking lot. It is, it's gone in the paper, so. Yeah, absolutely.
On the one-way part of Page Street, on the east side, about 2/3 of the way up, you'll see a blue house. There's a big wide spot between it and another house, and you'll see a kind of decaying, crappy looking blue barn. That's where that is.
Barn, yeah.
I've got a place.
Unfortunately, it hasn't been maintained, and it is starting to really have issues.
It doesn't have any OHPC precedents or anything of that sort.
They've been corresponding with SHPO and such on that. I mean, because there is funding if you wish to have a barn repaired, which would be great. And if they do the demo, they can't get any money from it. And then they'd also have to follow new code. So that's something people have to understand beforehand. Because it's right up against the other barn. Because that's how they used to build them.
Right.
Yeah. But, I mean, at this point, it sounds like it's not really even safe to go in. There's like beams hanging. I wouldn't prefer to go in, so I wouldn't want someone else in.
My question, I guess, is I assume that's a different than houses, because there are some houses in historic that are in the same boat, which we can't touch.
Right. Well, I don't think they're quite this bad. Except maybe, well, no,
On the corner of Main and Spencer is not exactly safe.
No.
It will never be built, we're just gonna wait till eventually it falls in.
Well, no, their land bank has that. They're gonna demo the back half of it and restore the front.
Yeah.
Is that the plan now? This is the last I knew you could
It's a big
restore it,
project,
it was so moldy or something.
It's a big project.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Another $1 million project to save a $100,000 house.
Yeah, and that's actually SHPO, let them demo it.
Right.
Not OHPC, but SHPO.
Right, because I have to ship over certified local.
Right. They get some of your grants, so. Got play nice. Anyway, that's my story.
Okay. Brent.
Yeah, the cemetery committee, we had a meeting last Monday before our finance meeting. We're working at getting proposals on several of the gravestones that are in bad shape. Hopefully I'll have some information next week, that would be coming out of that fund that we have. We're also, I was talking with Fred, we want to repaint the caretaker's cottage, which is up there in the cemetery that DPW uses the cellar to store mowing equipment and so on. We want to just repaint the front there, and so at any rate, we're working with Fred on that. And by our first meeting in August, I'm going to present to the board a proposal for selling more grave lots up in the cemetery. There's a couple areas we're looking at. We've done some research on prices and so on, and want to put a whole package together, go over that first meeting in August. We have a work day on Saturday, the 19th, in the cemetery from 9 o'clock to noon. And then our next committee meeting is the last Monday in July, which is the 28th. Be right here, 5:30 to 6:30.
Anything else? You good?
Well, that's it for today. Yeah.
On to me. I'm happy the budget is done. And Fred was just texting me, we need to talk about the Mark path. So it's done. The only thing we're waiting on is, I think there was maybe a couple little punch list items and the certificate of occupancy from both. But what we did talk about is how are we gonna operate this thing when it opens, hopefully very soon. Like what time do we wanna open it? What time do we wanna close it? Do we want OPD to go lock it up?
I think that would be a lot safer.
Considering things that were found in the previous bathroom, I would agree.
Right. Like you probably don't want like the lifeguard locking it up.
No.
Somebody in there doing.
Yeah, I don't want to put them in there.
No, and I would say it should be locked up at dusk.
From dusk to dawn.
We don't want
Or even
people in
like
there at 11 o'clock at
7
night.
I was gonna say come up with a time, like.
What is our hour?
He doesn't really propose it.
Hmm.
We'll do whatever we want. Rest-
What are,
I'm going to recommend, that doesn't need to be a motion, your authority, I'm going to recommend that the police open it in the morning. We'll find out what time the morning shift comes in. I don't know if it's 7 or 8 with that 10-hour shift, but whatever it is. Recommend that they open it at that, whatever is convenient there. If the shift starts at 7, they open it at 7:30 or something, not secretary. And that they pick a number right now that will change as it goes along. So now it will be 8 o'clock for the next, or whatever, 8 o'clock is still light for the next couple of months, and then we'll change it as we move along. And the police will come and lock it up.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
So it's your authority, that would be a recommendation, if that's what you'd like to do, take care of it.
Hopefully that'll open in the next week or so.
Very good.
I forget when they're.
Gonna have a ribbon cutting?
Yeah, let's schedule that. I forget when the final walkthrough is, I wanna say.
We're having,
Ribbon cutting for the bathrooms.
Charles, I don't think you should do this one. We're gonna have a Dunkin' in the turret.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not signed up for that.
Dunking booth out in front of the bathrooms.
That's all I got though. Public comment. What do we got?
I'm curious,
It's now or never.
Why would there be a problem in these bathrooms? Like, I was just at Hickory's last Wednesday for the concert. The bathrooms are immaculate. I was like really pleasantly surprised. So what's the difference? It's a location.
People that solicit the park at certain hours of the day tend to cause safety concerns for other residents.
So it's just in Marvin Park during the day is a problem?
Could
Are you
be
talking about
day, could be
bathroom?
evening. There's some problematic people that we have found in the bathrooms who are prone to vandalism, if you will.
We've had some vandalism just recently in the last month, a couple times in Martin Park. So we're concerned about that bathroom, and that's been vandalized, old bathroom, many, many times over the years. So we're gonna the best we can, we're gonna try and make that not happen.
Can you get like an Arlo camera or something?
There are cameras there, yeah.
An Arlo, it's just a brand.
Yeah, there are cameras there on the bathroom. So. Well, not in the bathroom, but around the bathroom.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Well,
clarifying.
yeah, not in the bathrooms, please. But
Outside around the bathroom.
around Hickory's has staff that are there all the time.
And who cleans this bathroom at Marvin Park?
DPW.
How much do they get paid an hour?
Not
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
That's why.
All right. Well, I just want to say the petition is coming along famously for the intersection at Church and Main Street. All of the business owners that I spoke to were stunned that there was even a consideration on the table that parking spaces would be taken away. They're pretty upset about that. So that's kind of where we stand.
They're likely to go away whatever we do with the corner,
Why?
because it's impossible to see around that corner, even if you have a stop sign.
I know, but if somebody's at the stop sign and you're at the stop sign, you don't have to see around them.
Sure you do,
see in
because you
front of
both go at the
their
same time. Yeah, you do. That's what happens at four-way stops.
Almost got it there.
Let's do it.
They have them in Endicott, they work fine, Rusty. Yesterday, a state trooper went through that intersection going about 40 miles an hour. I'll tell you what, I've seen older people pull out in front of cars many times, okay? If that happens, okay, you got a real problem with that debt and that. I worked in the DOT projects for a lot of years, okay? The village has a dent in the bottom of that pole. If that pole falls over on somebody, you're gonna be, I've reported this many times, okay? It's a real problem. Having a blinking light there that you could make it, you could get a different light. I know the people that do the lights, okay? You could get it to blink red all the way around and put up 4 stop signs. If you really think you need that electricity getting burnt, that's fine. But I can tell you right now, somebody's gonna get killed over there because they go way too fast on the yellow and they don't care about, they got the right of way. And when there's a power outage, which we've been having quite frequently, people don't have enough common sense to stop and go. And guess what? Oh, I can go because it's straight ahead. And that's how they operate. I've been around a long, long time. Way, way, way before you became of what do you call it? Traffic control agent for the village.
If I could add, who are you? I apologize, I don't know.
That's okay. I'm Paul Conti. I've lived in this village for 27 years. And for 27 years, ask Rodney Marchuka. I've been spouting off just like I do for 27 years. Wouldn't you agree, Rodney?
I just didn't know who you were, so I appreciate it.
That's okay. I just let you know. I've got some real issues with what's been going on. Plus the fact that I own property up on 96. They're still patrolling out of the village. I don't know what the jurisdiction or what the rules were, but I know 27 years ago, if you were a village, if you were a cop in Owego, like the top cop, you had to live 5 miles from the village. Now, I don't know where Joe lives in Florida, or does he live in Windsor, or you know what? It's bad. Today I was on Church Street. They had a new cop. I don't know who the cops are. I used to know every cop in this town, sheriff, state police, and the village. I don't know any of them anymore. Kathy Holcomb brings them in from New York City so they can harass people. And I'm telling you, they harass people. Now, there's an incident with the village police dragged a friend of mine who works at Lockheed Martin. He happens to be black, okay? Ripped him out of his car and went through his car, brought a dog in, said, I know you got dope in your car. He was on his way to work second shift at Lockheed Martin. Yeah. In this village in 2025. Okay? They ripped his lunch apart. Looking, I know you got dope in here.
It wasn't me.
He was on his way. No, it wasn't you, Charlie. But some of these people are out of control. And I tell you what, today they had a guy on Church Street. It was at the New Hope Center. Whoever was working, I don't know, and I don't really care who it was. But if you don't have enough brain power to pull in the parking lot, and you gotta have your patrol car blocking the 3/4 of the street on Church Street in Owego, and there's 2 parking lots here, one at the Hope Center and the other one across the street at the auto zone. And it's just like too much flashing lights, too much strawberry police. You know, the strawberry police, they did no investigations. I'm telling you right now, I've called Rudy Parker 15 times. Not once have they changed this accident report. That was not my fault, okay? Your strawberry police did this to me the 15th of June last year. I got the video from the school bus. And there's also videos on Ring cameras throughout the village of Owego on Front Street, mind you, okay? And guess what? My insurance went from $3,000 a year to $14,100 because Rudy Parker had me witch hunt with me and did a driver review. I got a letter from the state 2 weeks later saying, you don't have a license. It's been revoked. I've been driving a commercial truck for 50 years. My uncle owned the cider mill in Endicott, and I hauled produce out of Scranton, Pennsylvania 50 years ago. Actually, 51 years ago. And this is getting this whole deal with all these deals with this Rudy not answering, not changing. I went to Matt, the kid that wrote all the tickets, Matt Howard. I showed him the video. You want to see the video? I got it on my phone of Reeves smashing into my car and lying. I got $2,500 for the damage. Progressive said, Paul, we need the accident report revised. It went on my state driving record, which I had a flawless record. I worked for Chesapeake Energy. I had my own dump trucks. I worked for EE Root. I worked for Foz Ralston, Build a Bridge in Owego. I worked for every contractor in this area. LCP Group. Rodney knows, for 50 years. And this is the treatment I get. I'm not happy, I can tell you that.
Do you have something to address the board with? Like these sound,
Do I have something I address with? Did you hear me speaking for the last 5 minutes?
these sound like issues between you and.
Me? No, it's a village. You have a village. I've been here 27 years, Mayor, and I'm gonna tell you something. Their jurisdiction, they can go to McDonald's to get a hamburger, but they can't go harass my kid across the street from Metro's restaurant. I can guarantee you that. They sit in Metro's parking lot. Yesterday, your illustrious Matt that saw the video, okay? It's obvious. Bob Joseph from the radio station saw the video at my son's memorial fishing tournament. Okay? Everybody in this community has seen it on Facebook because I posted it on there, but they don't care. The police are arrogant. They're in trouble, I can tell you that. I am not happy. I had to go out of town and it's costing me a lot of money to defend myself, my reputation. I've lived in this town since 1957. I was 3 years old when I moved in this community. I lived on 17C, 3 houses east of Tiger Gardens from the time that I didn't move in the village. I bought the house in the village 27 years ago. I'm not happy. I don't have a living. I can't make a living driving my friend's dump trucks. I can't work for Larry Pierce when he's pulled over in Nerd Valley going to Cornell University to do a demo job because he didn't have his medical card. I had a 2-year medical card. I was in perfect shape to drive truck. And that Rudy Parker went way out of bounds to tell people that I wasn't fit to drive a truck. You can ask Dr. Nichols. He did the physical for me for this witch hunt. I was 11 months, never left my house because of this bullshit. And it is bullshit.
Thank you, Paul. Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying? Rodney knows. I went to his son's funeral. That's about where I went. And I actually walked down there. I'm hot. And I got a damn good reason to be hot. I never screwed anybody in this town. I've never done anything off color. I've never been convicted of a crime. And they try to put the meat to me, giving me 6 tickets and taking my CDL away from me. And it is a witch hunt. They didn't do one thing. Even when I showed them the video, they never did anything. That was over a year ago, the 24th of June. I think it's a bit ridiculous. It's gone way too far for way too long. And being sorry is not going to make it.
We'll see if you have complaints with the.
Complaints. There's still, I complained here a year ago.
If you have police complaints about.
The police don't answer my phone. I called them 15 times. I got a record of my phone cell phone.
Are you going to listen to me?
Hardly.
Complaints? Yeah, I know. If you have complaints with the way they're handling stuff on a crime level, their superior is the district attorney, not the board.
Well, listen, yeah, guess what happened with the district attorney? When he saw the freaking video, he dropped all the charges, and I had to pay a $250 fine because of their stupidity. All right? I'm going to tell you right now, I can get the ring cameras. All that information's in my lawyer's office, okay? It's not rocket science. I didn't do one thing wrong. For 27 years, I went to the Strawberry Festival. For 27 years after the parade, I left. 27 years, I came back. Okay? This is Reeves' witch hunt with Reeves. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hope he's paying the prevailing wage like he's supposed to. I know you like him and you think he's wonderful, but I'm going to tell you something. I worked construction on many, many, many jobs, and we did a lot of sewer work. Steven Sinnis is a relative of mine, okay? They own factory, and his cousin owns G. Steven Sinnis. You put in, you had one sidewalk you should have taken out. There's 3 that they took out, all right? They made a 30-foot cut when it was 4.5 feet deep. I lived right there, Mike, and I'm going to tell you something. They put in the wrong material underneath. They didn't tamp it properly. It's already sinking. They spent thousands and thousands of dollars. How much did that project cost? What?
I don't remember. It was.
Well, I can tell you what it cost. I'm not stupid. I work construction. I know what material costs. I watched them put 3 dump truck loads of blacktop in that site. Okay? Plus patch it, plus the pipe that you bought from wherever you get your pipe from. Weber, whoever. Jones Water Supply. I know them all. You got tricked by this little deal, okay? Instead of putting it out to bid like your municipalities are supposed to do, you didn't put it out to bid, you just handed it to the guy. And they said, oh, it's 17 feet deep. Guess where it's 17 feet deep, Mike? Where Price Chopper is. That's the only sewer that's 17 feet. I know because my buddy Carlos Savoni put it in. I know all about pipe. I know about construction. I worked it all my life. I had dump trucks. We got concrete in our blood, the region of Italy that my father's family's from. That's what we have. I'm a Brusates. Do you understand what that means? We're the hardheads from Italy. The Steven Sinnis, the Pasquales, the whole industry, Jimmy Tordo. I could name 5 more. I could name 10 more. We're all from the same part of Italy. You know, you ever hear of the Sons of Italy? That's the Abruzzi Club that was built in 1902 in Endicott. It doesn't make any sense. Rusty defended those people going out of the village. He said they could do that. I said, guess what? They do whatever they want to do. They drag people out of cars. If you're black, I'm close enough to being black. And just as bad, I feel like I'm black. You know, in my great-grandmother's house.
I do not want to be attacked by Mr. Conti.
I don't want to hear it either.
Well, good. I'm leaving. But I'm going to tell you something. In my great-grandmother's house, the last house on Oak Hill Avenue, the 600 block, all right? In the deed, I can show it to you if you really want. I don't respect you, Charlie. I have nothing. I have my niece is married to a black Jew, okay? I'm going to say something, all right? No Italians and no ends in the deed. That's how they felt about the Italians, and they didn't feel much better about the black folk friends.
All right, any other public?
Wendy, are you all set? Are you all done? You got interrupted by that. Are you all set with talking to us?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to executive session.
All right, under executive session.
This conference will now be recorded.
Charles, did you have something to
No.
say?
No.
Yes, you did.
No, you did.
All right, so
I got
back to regular
Move
session.
to adjourn is what you had to say.
I'll second that, whoever.
21:37.
All right.
You'd be back on the board.